Uh, Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes, madam.
Right, okay. I think now we can start the session. Still, some students are joined to the session. 47, ne? 40. මම වරුණ 46 නේ ඉන්නේ. අයි තව ඉන්නවද කට්ටිය session එකට එන්න join වෙන්න කට්ටිය? online එකේ? Okay. It's better to start the session. So, again, good evening. So, we are going to conduct the today lesson on computer software and operating system. I think it is very familiar words, right? I think you know about computer very well, and you know about the software as well as the operating system. Have you heard about the operating system? Operating system ගැන අහලා තියෙනවද? Yes, Harry. Okay. Today we're going to learn in depth about operating system as well as the computer software. Right. Okay. Let's move on to the session. First, before going to start the session, I need to ask from you a small question. What is the software? Can anyone give me the answer? What is the software? I know you are using computers as well as you are using several softwares, including when you use the mobile phone, you are using several applications, right? We call them as app or the mobile application. So I'm asking, can you explain what is mean by software? Anyone? Can you give me a proper answer for the software? Data programs, right? Others? I need your support, right? Since this is the online class, without your support, it's very boring to continue the session, right? You active participants, highly appreciate, right? Okay. Then, others? Set of instructions to execute the task. Okay. Any other answers? Right. In last 2 sessions, you learned about what are the hardware, what are the computers, and what are the usage of computers, and what is the internal structure of the computer system, and what are the input devices, what are the output devices, and what are the storage devices, and how they combine each together, and how they perform several tasks to get the proper output based on the instructions that were inserted into the machine using input devices, right? So that time you learn about computer hardware, right? From this point on, we are going to continue the session regarding computer software. So when we discuss about the computer hardware parts, components, right? What are the things that you learn regarding computer hardware? Before going to understand about the software, you should know what are the hardware, right? Since I think already discussed computer hardware part. Am I right? වෙනකොට කරලා නේ තියෙන්නේ computer hardware එක. Guys, are you there?
Oh, Miss.
Right, okay. Then, ඔව් නේ. Right. චූටි message එකක් හරි දාන්න මේකට මොකද chat එකට. Right, okay. Hardware ගැන කරලා තියෙන්නේ. Right. So, when we discuss about the hardware, you know we can touch them and we can physically see them. Right? අපිට ඒ දේවල් බලන්නත් පුළුවන්, අතින් අල්ලන්නත් පුළුවන්. And also we can find hardware externally as well as the internally. Right? අපිට පරිගණක system එක නැත්නම් computer system එක ගත්තොත් අපිට බාහිරිනුත් දකින්න තියෙනවා computer hardwares. ඒ වගේම internal කියන්නේ system unit එක ඇතුලේ lab එකක් නම් lab එකේ inside අපිට දකින්න පුළුවන් එක එක විදිහේ hardware components RAM එක ඊළඟට hard disk එක ඊළඟට motherboard එක CPU එක ඒ තමයි internal structure එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන hardware, right? When we come to the external environment of the computer system, in here we can see several input devices, output devices, and the other storage devices, right? Those things we call as hardware, right? We can touch them. But when it comes to the software, simply we cannot touch them. අපිට software අල්ලන්න බෑ. But we can use them. නේ? If it is a touch screen, we can touch, right? That means physical touch එකක් නෙමෙයි. හරි software එක කියන එක අපිට physically touch කරන්න බෑ. අපිට පුළුවන් යාව use කරන්න විතරයි. Only thing is we can use them to success a proper or the appropriate task, perform an appropriate task or the from the softwares, right? Okay, let's see what is the correct answer for the software, right? It's a set of programs, right? Programs ගොඩක එකතුවක් තමයි software එකක් කියන්නේ, which is designed to perform a well-defined function, right? Since once we need to create the application using computer programming language, right? Always we are going to develop an application to perform a specific task that we can't or that it is hard to complete in manual way. Right? At that kind of situations, we are moving to the developing software or the computer application, right? To developing that application to perform a specific task, right? We design several instructions. So we going to develop set of programs, right? By combining these set of programs, we are going to produce a software, right? That's why in the first point, it's saying software means a set of programs which designed to perform a well-defined function, right? And also a program is a sequence of instructions written to solve a particular problem. හරි? දැන් මම එතන ඒ ටික තමයි explain කරේ. අපිට සාමාන්‍ය manual process එකේදී, right? Time consume වෙන එහෙම නැත්නම් manual process එකේදී වැඩි පිරිසකගේ දායකත්වයක් ඕන වෙන එහෙම නැත්නම් ඉක්මනින් කරගන්න ඕන වෙන කාලේ වැඩිපුර යන වැඩක් නම්, right? Simply we are moving to do that task using computer system. අපි ඒ physical එමත අපි manually කරන task එක පරිගණකය හරහා කරගන්න move වෙන අවස්ථාවකදී, right? We are going to develop set of instructions or the sequence of instructions using computer languages, right? What are the languages that you know regarding the computer system? Right? අපි software side එකට આવොත් මොනවද ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්න programming languages? පරිගණක භාෂා කියලා කියන. Java,
Python,
Python, right? Okay. Pascal, okay.
C sharp,
C sharp. HTML we can't get as the programming language. It's not a programming language, right? C++, C sharp, right? Okay, those things we can get as, yes, we can get them CSS. No, right? CSS and HTML means web developing, right? Not the programming languages. We can't get them as programming languages, right? Okay, so these are called as programming languages. Java, Python, Pascal, and C sharp, right? C++, right? මෙන්න මේ දේවල් ටික අපි කියන programming languages කියලා. Using these programming languages, right? We can divide these programming languages like this, right? Okay. අපිට programming languages කිව්වහම, right? මෙන්න මේ තියෙන්නේ computer එක. Right? You know, computer can understand only 1 and 0, right? Or the binary digits, right? Okay, this is the human. Human being can understand several languages, right? Based on the English that we are going to develop programming languages, several programming languages, right? මෙන්න මේ අපි කතා කරපු Java, හරි, Python, මෙන්න මේ C sharp, right? මෙන්න මේ දේවල් අපි high level programming languages කියලා තමයි consider කරන්නේ. Why? High level means it මෙන්න මේ high level programming language එක තමයි මිනිස්සාට. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි පරිගණකයේ ගත්තොත් human beings ලට ළඟම language එක තමයි high level language කියලා කියන්නේ. Right? It's hard to understand by computers directly. Right? high level language එකෙන් ලියපු දෙයක් පරිගණකයට හරි ඉක්මනට තේරුම් කරගන්න බෑ. එයාට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? So then we need to convert that. Right? Using Java, we can give several instructions to perform a particular task or to solve a particular problem. Right? That program we called as software. Right? To implement that using computer, then we need to compile it into machine language. Right? Machine language means it is easy to understand by machines, not by the human beings. Right? එක මිනිස්සුන්ට අඳුර ගන්න අමාරුයි මේ compile කරාට පස්සේ. Compilers ලා ඉන්නවා, interpreters කියලා ඉන්නවා. අපි මේ අපිට තේරෙන භාෂාවෙන් ලියන program එක, right? එහෙම නැත්නම් instructions ගොඩක එකතුවක්නේ අපි කියන්නේ simply program එකක් කියලා. right? මෙතනත් කියලා තියෙනවා set of instructions, right? Instructions ගොඩක එකතුවක් තමයි අපි program එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ. මෙන්න මේ ලියපු program එක අපි convert කරන්න ඕනි මෙන්න මේ පරිගණකයට තේරෙන විදිහට. right? ඒ අපි ලියපු code එක පරිගණකයට තේරෙන විදිහට convert කරාට පස්සේ we call it as machine language. Right? Okay. Then that means simply a software means we are going to develop a set of instructions, right? Using a programming language to solve a particular problem, right? And then these set of instructions, so the sequence of instructions we called as a software. ඒ තමයි සරලම අදහස software එකට. Right? Okay. Then let's move into the next one. Right. Then let's see about types of software. Right? අපි දැන් software එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා identify කරගත්තා. Now we are going to understand about types of software. Right? What are the When we discuss about the software, now you know it means set of instructions. We call it as a software. So software we can divide into two parts. First one is system software, other one is application software, right? Okay. Then system software means paddhati mudukanga. When it comes to the application software, that means yedum mudukanga, right? So system software means software that controls the hardware and provides a platform for other softwares, right? Okay, I will discuss this slide with a small structure, right? Do you have any experience the buying new computer? Anyone? Have you any experience? Yes or no? අලුත් පරිගණකයක් මිලදී අරගෙන experience එක තියෙනවා. Yes. Alright, okay. හැමෝම මිලදී අරගෙන තියෙනවා. Right. First impression or the first view of the computer. What are the things that you can see once you're going to buy a new computer? අලුත්ම පරිගණකයක් මිලදී ගද්දී අපි let's assume you are going to buy a new desktop machine or the desktop computer, right? What are the things that you can see during the first process of buying a computer, right? මොනවද වලට දකින්න පුළුවන් දේවල්? මුලින්ම පරිගණකය මිලදී ගන්න ගියාට පස්සේ මුලින්ම ඉමෙත අලුතෙන්ම පරිගණකය මිලදී ගන්න වෙලාවේ මොනවද වලට පේන්න තියෙන දේවල්? Right? What are the things that you can see once you're going to buy a new computer? Right, okay. Right. Answers ගොඩක් ඇවිත් තියෙනවා. Processor තියෙනවා. I'm asking about the first view of the computer, right? Not the pressing
Monitor, madam.
power button or anything, right? I am asking just what are the things that you can see once you buy a computer, new computer, right?
Monitor,
RAM එක දකින්න පුළුවන්, memory, processor, right? Okay. These things you can see, no? Right. Other things, hard drive space, right? Okay. That means you can see them, right? ඔගොල්ලෝ ගත්ත ගමන් මැෂින් එක ගලවනවද නැහනේ? එහෙම කරන්නේ නැහැ. right? ඒ කියන්නේ අලුතෙන් අපි පරිගණකයක් මිලදී ගද්දි right? ගලවන්න එපා. කැලි ගලවලා බලුවා වගේ තමයි RAM එක ඒව තමයි පේන්න තියනවා කියලා තියෙන්නේ. Yes. Right? ආ ජෙනරේෂන් එකත් පේනවා කියලා තියෙනවා. එහෙම නෑ right? Only thing is you can see just monitor, right? ඔයාලා මොනිටර් එකක් තියෙන ඩෙස්ක්ටොප් එකක්නේ මං කිව්වේ. ඩෙස්ක්ටොප් එකක නම් ඔයාලට මොනිටර් එක දකින්න පුළුවන්. And as well as then you can see you should buy a mouse, right? And you should buy a keyboard. These are the primary things that you can see, right, at the very beginning of the when you are buying a computer system. At the very beginning, we can see only these things as well as the system unit, right? මෙන්න මේ ටික තමයි ඔයාලට පේන්න තියෙන්නේ, right? If you, right, disassemble this system, then at that time you can see the internal structure of the system unit. You can see several RAMs, right, and the hard drive, processor, motherboard. These things you can see only you disassemble the computer system, right? Otherwise, you can see only the system unit, monitor, keyboard, mouse, right? Okay, once you press the power button, right, the screen only, right? Can you see any software? Can you see any software inside this machine? No, ne? Right. That means when you buy a new computer, you can see only the hardware. ඔයාලට hardware විතරයි පේන්න තියෙන්නේ. Right? And you were there. user තමයි ඕගොල්ලෝ. පරිගණකයක් මිලදී ගන්නකොටම ඔයාලට hardware ටික හම්බ වෙනවා. ඊළඟට ඕගොල්ලෝ ඉන්නවා. Right? But you can't work with the computer. At that time, at the very beginning, you can't perform any task, or you cannot do any task using computer system. Like you can't open Office, you can't open Paint, right? Anything, right? To do that or to perform that task, then you need to install softwares. Right? ඔන්න දැන් hardware ටික හරි. ඔයගොල්ලෝ hardware ටික මිලදී ගත්තා, right? අපිට පාවිච්චි කරන්න user කෙනෙක් ඉන්න ඕනේ, userත් ඉන්නවා. But we should have to interface to create an interface in between these two parties, user and hardware. To develop that one, we need to install software inside this machine, right? Or the system unit. Inside the system unit, we need to install several software, right? So that first we need to install system softwares. Right? You know, you need to install software. Software means we can divide software into two parts. One is system software, other one is application software. From these two, first you need to install system software or the paddhati mudukanga, right? අපි දැන් software install කරන්න ඕනි කියලා කිව්වා. software වලින් මුලින්ම ඔයගොල්ලෝ install කරන්න ඕනි system software එක. The system software we can get example as operating system, right? This is the major software under the system software. Operating system. Without OS, there is no any interface in between hardware and the user, right? OS is the component that's going to give an perfect interface to the user to work with the computer system. That's why we can see the screen with several images, letters, and several informations. That's why we can work with the hard drives. Right? අපිට ඒකයි hardware use කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. softwares ටික හරියට manage කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. ලස්සන screen එකක් හම්බෙලා තියෙන්නේ. Right? අපිට මේකේ type කරන ඒවා මේ screen එකේ පේන්නේ. මෙන්න මේ කියන හැමදේම develop වෙන්නේ OS එකක් තියෙනවා නම් විතරයි. Right? And also there should be some utility softwares. Right? We call them as උපයෝගිතා මුදුකාංග. Right? OS එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනි. OS එකත් එක්ක utility softwares තියෙන්න ඕනේ. මේ utility softwares යටතට අපිට ගොඩක් දේවල් එකතු වෙනවා. drivers එකතු වෙනවා. Right? drivers කියන්නේ අපි අලුතෙන් print එකක් හරි. Right? Have you used a dongle? dongle use කරලා තියෙනවද? Yes or no? Yes,
ma'am.
ne? Yes. Once you plug the dongle to the USB port, can you use it? A new dongle, right? අපිට පුළුවන් ද plug කරපු ගමන් use කරන්න. බෑනේ. First thing we need to install it into the machine. Right? You need to install your dongle into the machine. That means you need to introduce your dongle to the machine. That is called as drivers. Without drivers, we can't work with the hardwares. Right? Those drivers we call as utility softwares. Upayogita Mudukang. Right? Okay. I think now you know how we combine with the computer system both users as well as the hard drives. Right. මේ තමයි software වල වැදගත්කම. එයා තමයි backbone එක හරියටම කිව්වොත් එහෙම. machine එකේ. Right? Okay. Without system software, we can't do anything inside the machine. Right? That's why at the very beginning, once we buy a computer system, we going to install system software. Simply, ඔගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ අපි Windows ගහනවා කියලා. Right. Windows කියන්නේ one type of software. OS, operating system. Right. Let's learn those things in future. Right. The basic thing is, right, a newborn computer. First, we can see only the hardware. To work with them, we need to install system software like operating system and the other utility software. Right. Then we can combine user and the other hardware drivers. But we buy a computer to work with some softwares, no? Right? මොනාරි වැඩක් කරගන්නනේ අපි machine එකක් මිලදී ගන්න. Right? Those several softwares we called as application software. Right? යෙදවුම් මුදුකාංග. අපි application softwares වලට කියන්නේ යෙදවුම් මුදුකාංග කියලා. Right? Now we have a platform to work with application software once we install the operating system or the system softwares. අපි system softwares install කරපු ගමන් අපිට platform එකක් හැදෙනවා application softwares ටික install කරන්න. Right? Once you install the operating system, then you are going to install and download and install, right, several softwares, Microsoft Office package, right, and the VLC media player, right, and the other Adobe Photoshop, right, Flash. This kind of softwares you can install after the installation of operating system. Right? Now, system is complete. Right? So, we have hardware and we have the interface to combine this hardware with the user, with the operating system, with the support of operating system. Right? Then, we can install several application software to perform several tasks using computer system. Right? That means now we connect user and the hardware with the computer system. Right? තේරුණා නේද? මෙන්න මේ විදිහට තමයි software part එක අපි අතරට එන්නේ. එහෙනම් අපිත් එක්ක වැඩ කරන්නේ. Right? මුලින්ම අපි පරිගණකයක් මිලදී ගද්දී අපි ළඟ තියෙන්නේ hardware ටික විතරයි. Right? අපිට hardware එකත් එක්ක කතා කරන්න බෑ. Only thing is we can touch them. Right? Click කරන්න පුළුවන් mouse එක නම් keyboard එක නම් key ටික press කරන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි machine එකේ කිසි දෙයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Task එකක් perform කරන්න බෑ. Right? So that we need to install several software. Then we can divide software into two parts, system software and the application software. මේ දෙන්නගෙනුත් අපි පරිගණකයට මුලින්ම install කරන්න ඕනි application software. Right? Sorry, system software. System software includes operating system and the other utility softwares. Right? මේ utility software යටතට එනවා compilers ලා, interpreters ලා, drivers, මේ හැම දෙයක්ම. ඒගොල්ලන්ට තමයි අපි උපයෝගිතා මුදුකාංග කියන්නේ. Right? Then, after complete installation of the system software, we can install several application softwares to perform several tasks based on our requirements. Right? අපිට ඕන විදිහේ task ටික perform කරගන්න ඕන යෙදවුම් මුදුකාංග අපිට install කරගන්න පුළුවන්. When we move into the mobile phone or the smartphone, it also having the same structure like this. ඒකත් මේ විදිහම තමයි, but the difference is already it having the operating system. Once you buy a new mobile phone, it's already having the operating system. If it is the Samsung or any other matter, any other type, right? Those smartphones having Android as the operating system. If it is the Apple brand one, then what is the operating system inside that mobile phone? iOS. Yes. iOS tama Apple brand lage mobile mobile version eකට එන operating system එක. Right? When we discuss about the computer, that means smartphone also kind of a computer. I'm asking about laptop and the desktop, right? If it is the Apple branded one, right? What is the operating system to that machine? Yes, iOS, no. It having a name. iOS, they developed to the mobile versions. iOS. Yes, macOS. macOS තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝගේ laptops වලට desktops වලට එන OS type එක. Right? Okay. Right. If it is the other smartphone, then we can use simply Android kind of operating system. Right? Okay. I think you have a clear idea about what are the system software and the application software. When we discuss about the mobile phone, simply we called those application software as app. නේ? අපි app කියලානේ කියන්නේ. මෙන්න මේ application කියන දිග වචනේ කඩාගත්ත අකුරු තුනක් තමයි අපි use කරන්නේ. app කියලා. Applications, we simply call them as app when it's come to the mobile applications, right? If it is Android, simply we can go to the Play Store and we can download several applications. Those things we called as application software. If you consider about your mobile phone, you having several apps. That means you are using several application softwares, right? The Android is the version or the base that's going to support installing purposes, right? Installing purpose වලට support කරන්න යන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ Android platform එක. නැත්නම් Android OS එක. It's also kind of a software. That software we called as system software, right? If you are having a Apple branded one, right? You are having iOS operating system, right? And you are going to Apple Store and you can download several application softwares that support by the iOS. Clear? තේරුණාද මේ අපි කතා කරපු process එක? කොහොමද මේ softwares ටික එකිනෙක අතර වැඩ කරන්නේ කියලා තේරුණාද? මේ කතා කරපු part එක. Yes නේ? Right. Okay. In the university lab, some machines having Windows 10 and 7, right? And few computers having Windows 7, but other computers, so the other machines are using Windows 10, right? Also, some machines having Windows 11 as well. Right, okay. I think now we can move into the learn about other things regarding these softwares, since I gave you the base regarding this computer software, right? Okay, let's see what are those system software. That means sinhala meaning එක තමයි පද්ධති මුදුකාංග. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා මොනවද මේකට අයිති වෙන්න ඕනි කියලා සහ ඒගොල්ලෝගේ කාර්යයන් වෙන්නේ මොනවද කියලා, right? Simple thing is these system softwares going to create an interface to interact with the user and the hardware, right? Okay, collection of programs that designed to operate, control and extend the processing capabilities of the computer itself, right? And generally prepared by the computer manufacturers, right? අපි පරිගණකයක් නම් එයාලා නිෂ්පාදනය කරන අයම තමයි ගොඩක් වෙලාට මේ system software design කරන්නේ. In this informations not only for the operating system but also the utility softwares as well, other compilers and interpreters, right? And assemblers as well as the device drivers, right? Each and everything are prepared by the manufacturing companies. and programs written in low-level languages. Right? Low-level means අපි කිව්වා machine එකට ළඟ භාෂාවලට තමයි අපි low-level languages කියලා කියන්නේ. Right? I discussed about the high-level languages. High-level languages means they are මොනවාද? ඒ high-level languages අපි ගොඩක් සමීප වෙන්නේ human beings වලට. Right? And low-level languages ගොඩක් සමීප වෙන්නේ computers වලට, machine එකට. So simply we call them as machine language as well. Low-level languages, we call them as machine language. Right? And interact with the hardware at a very basic level. And system software serves as the interface between the hardware and the end user. Right? That is called as firmware. I think I discussed about the firmware. Am I right? Do I need to explain about the firmware? Did you remember about firmware? Yes, ne? Right. I gave you a simple explanation with some example regarding firmware, right? So here I am not going to again explain about the firmware, right? Firmware means it's going to create an interface in between user and the hardware. Simply we call them as firmware, right? Yes, BIOS. Okay. Then let's move into the next slide. Okay. System software, right? We can get several types into the system software or under the system software like operating system, firmware, device drivers, and the other utilities. Right? Under the other utilities, we can get compilers, interpreters, as well as the assemblers. Those compiler interpreter means they are going to convert high-level programming languages into machine language. Hari, high-level programming languages කියලා කියන්නේ උසස් මට්ටමේ පරිගණක භාෂා. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි ලියන කෝඩ් එක මැෂින් එකට තේරෙන විදිහට කන්වර්ට් කරන්න තමයි අපි ඔය දැන් මං කිව්ව කම්පයිලර් ඉන්ටර්ප්‍රිටර් කියන අය පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. අපි මේගොල්ලෝ ගැන ඊළඟ සයිට් එකේ in detail කතා කරනවා. All right, okay. I will explain. There is a request, right, from some student to explain about the firmware, right? Simply firmware means if we are going to play cricket, right? Major thing is we need to have a bat and ball. Ne? Bat ekui ball ekui onane, right? If we need to play, right, we need to catch the bat as well as the ball, right? අපි බෝලේ අල්ලන්නත් ඕනි, බැට් එක අල්ල ගන්නත් ඕනි. right? හැබැයි බෝලේ අල්ලගෙන විතරක් බෑ. බෝලේ දාන්නත් ඕනි, බැට් එකෙන් ගහන්නත් ඕනි බෝලෙට. නැත්නම් එතන combination එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? To combine these two, we need to catch the ball as well as the bat. Right? After that, we can play cricket. Right? This bat and our hand means two different things. Right? වෙනස්ම දෙකක් නේ. මෙන්න මේ දෙන්න කැච් කරන්න හදන මෙන්න මේ සර්ෆේස් එක තමයි firmware කියලා කියන්නේ. අපි හරියට බැට් එක අල්ලනවා. And ඒ වගේ when we discuss about the computer system, hardware and the software means totally two different things. Right? To work with those two, we need to combine these two. Right? For the combination purposes, we are using firmware. Clear? තේරුණාද?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, okay. Then let's move into the importance of system software. It is essential for the proper functioning of a computer. Right? Without OS, right, we can't work with the computer system. Right? Okay. Now we're going to learn about several type of system softwares. Right? First one is operating system. Right? The most important type of system software that manage computer hardware and the software resources and provide services for computer program. Right? I'm not going to explain more about operating system since in future we're going to discuss more about operating systems. Right? And I give a basic information regarding the operating system up to this point. I think it is fine, right? Okay. Then firmware. It's a low-level software that controls the hardware devices attached to a computer, right? Regarding the firmware also, I give a small explanation, right, about what are the firmware. And let's move into the device drivers, right? The software that controls the various hardware devices attached to a computer, right? If we are going to insert a new hardware component, external hardware component into the machine, we need to introduce that machine or that external device, right? තේරුණා නේද? අපි අලුතෙන් print එකක් set කරන්න යනවා නම් machine එකට, right? We need to find what are the device drivers, right, related to that printer, right? Those drivers we can find from the manufacturing company website. If we cannot find any CD or the soft copy regarding that drivers of the relevant printer, right? We can search on the web and then we can find relevant drivers to the relevant printer and then we can install these drivers into the machine. After that, machine can understand or the machine can learn about that printer, right? Get information about that printer, right? Then we can work with that printer with the computer system. තේරුණාද? අපි අලුතෙන් machine එකක් අපි print එකක් අපි example එක විදිහට ගත්තොත් print එක machine එකකට set කරන්න බෑ එකපාරට. set කරපු ගමන් වැඩ කරන්න බෑ. right? අපිට සිද්ධ වෙනවා මේ machine එකේ තියෙන එහෙම නැත්නම් printer එකට අදාළ drivers. මේ drivers නිෂ්පාදනය කරන්නේ ඒ අදාළ print එක නිෂ්පාදනය කරපු manufacturing company එකේ. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ electronic devices එක්ක ඒ manual එක අපි කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? user manual එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ. අන්න ඒ වගේ. මේ manual එක එනවා CD එකක් විදිහට හරි කොහොම හරි මේ drivers එනවා සමහර machines වලට support කරන්න ලේසියට. එහෙම නැති වුණොත් අපිට batch number එකෙන් හරි එහෙම නැත්නම් අදාළ name එකෙන් හරි brand name එකෙන් හරි අපි ඕට සිද්ධ වෙනවා මේ device එකට. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි externally connect කරන්න යන device එකට අදාළ drivers ටික website එකකින් හොයාගන්න. Right? Then we need to download them and input into the machine, right? Right. Then we can connect the printer or any other device with the computer system and we can work with that. Clear? මේ විදිහට තමයි device drivers අපිට ඕන වෙන්නේ. Right? Okay, let's move into the next one. Compilers, interpreters and assemblers. Right? Compilers means a software that translates high-level programming languages into machine code which can be understood by the computer. Right? These compilers, interpreters, right, and the assemblers මේ හැමෝම කරන්නේ machine language එකට අපි ලියපු පරිගණක භාෂාව translate කරන එක. Right? That means we are coding or we are giving some instructions using our language, right? Our language means we are using several programming languages, use the support of English, right? Very simple words we are using in programming languages, right? So simply we can easily understand those programming languages from our side or the other end. But computers can't understand what we are saying, right? To understand by the computer, we need to convert our instructions into the machine instruction. Machine can only understand 1 and 0, right? Machine එකට understand කරගන්න ලේසි වෙන්න තමයි අපි programming language කියලා එකක් introduce කරලා මේ programming language එකෙන් අපි code කරලා එයාව machine language එකට convert කරන්න. Right? Compilers going to translate that high level programming language into machine code understood by the computer, and they are essential for software development and help improve the performance of applications. Right? Clear? And මේ compilers ला one by one නෙමෙයි convert කරන්නේ. Sorry, compilers ला one by one තමයි මේ programming language එක convert කරන්නේ. But when it comes to the interpreters, right? That's also kind of a software, that is system software, that execute high-level programming languages directly without first converting them into the machine code. Right? මේගොල්ලෝ කෙලින්ම අපේ programming language එක machine language එකට convert කරනවා and useful for prototyping and testing code and they provide faster feedback compared to the compilers, right? Okay, then when we move into the assemblers, those are the software. They also kind of software that translate assembly language into machine code. It's a low-level programming tools that are used to optimize code for specific hardware architectures, and they are often used in embedded system and device drivers. What are the embedded device? Do you know about the embedded device? අහලා තියෙනවද embedded device කියන්නේ මොනවද කියලා? Have you heard about embedded devices? Yes or no?
No, madam.
No. Right. Embedded devices means, are you using a smartwatch?
No, madam.
No. Is there anyone? Yes. Are you using washing machine? I mean, automated washing machines? No, I know. Yes, I know. Right? Okay. These kind of systems we called as embedded system. Right. එයාලා සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම computer එකක් නෙමෙයි. හැබැයි they are running with the computer parts, right? They also having the processor. They also having some instructions to perform a specific task, right? They work based on our instruction and they are having their own operating system as well as the processor. Yes, program system, right? Also we get Tesla. It's a vehicle, but also it's an embedded device or the embedded system, driverless vehicles. Right, or the automated vehicles. They are embedded devices. They having electrical system plus digital system. Those systems we called as embedded systems. Clear? Then there another embedded කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා? I think you will get the point.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, right, okay. Right. Embedded system ඔච්චර කාල use කරලා තියෙනවා මොනවද කියන්නේ තමයි දැනන් හිටියේ නැත්තේනේ. Right. Then features of system software features ගැන කතා කරද්දී they are very close to the system. Right. Features of the under the features of system software, they are very close to the system. You know, they write in the low level programming language. Low level means it's very ගොඩක් සමීප වෙන්නේ machine language එකට මත යන්ත්‍ර භාෂාවට. That's why they are written in the low level language and the feature is close to the system and fast in speed, right? Based on the operating system, we can perform several tasks, several applications in speed way, right? And difficult to design. Everyone can't design operating system, right? Experts, right, who are expert in the software designing, they can develop a specific software system, right? Operating system or the system software, right? What is the system software which developed in Sri Lanka? මොකද ලංකාවේ හදපු system software එක under the operating system? කාට හරි මතකද? ලංකාවේ team එකක් හැදුවා operating system එකක්. Can someone give me the answer? Harder than this? No? No. Have you heard about Hantana Linux? Yes or no? Yes, no? Right? Hantana Linux. No. අහලා නැහැ. Search කරලා බලන්න. Right? Hantana Linux developed by Sri Lankan team. Right? It's operating system. Hantana Linux. What is the antivirus card developed for that operating system? මොකද antivirus card එක මෙන්න මේ operating system එකට develop කරපු Hantana Linux එකට. ලස්සන නමක් තියෙන්නේ. කවුරු හරි අහලා තියෙනවද? අහලා තියෙනවා. තියෙනවනම් කියන්නකෝ නම. ලස්සන නමක් දීලා තියෙනවා. right? ඒක නිසුරු. right. කඳුල කියලා අහලා තියෙනවද? කඳුල. කඳුල තමයි ඇන්ටිවයිරස් ගාඩ් එක ඩිවලොප් කරපු. right? හන්තාන ලිනක්ස් වලට. right. okay then difficult to understand තේරුම් ගන්න අමාරුයි චුට්ටක් and less interactive right smaller in size ප්‍රමාණයෙන් කුඩයි and difficult to manipulate and generally written in low level language that's why it's called as close to the system right okay these are the features regarding the system software right then let's move into the some example of system software here how many of them you know up to this point ඔයාලා දන්න operating system මොනවා හරි මෙතන තියෙනවද? දන්නේ මොනවද? Do you know about the Apple? Apple is not the operating system, it's a brand, right? Under that brand, right? We can find macOS. Right? Then others. Microsoft ලගේ මොකද්ද තියෙන්නේ? Microsoft ලා මොනවද provide කරන්නේ? Operating system එක? Windows, right? Here, Windows Server for server machines and also Windows XP, right? And 7, 8, 10, right? And 11, right? Those are for the computers. And Linux, MS-DOS, and Ubuntu. These are also some example for operating systems, right? Here, I have mentioning some operating systems for the computers. That means computer means laptops, desktops, right? That kind of devices. But when we discuss about when we consider about the mobile devices, they also having a specific operating system related to that mobile devices like iOS, if it is Apple brand iOS, and the Android and BlackBerry. Another BlackBerry. right? ගොඩක් කලින් ආපේ ඉස්සරෝම mobile device එක ආපු operating system එක BlackBerry. right? අර button ගොඩක් එක්ක mobile device එකක් ඉස්සරෝම introduce කරා මතක ඇති. right? අන්න ඒකේ තමයි BlackBerry operating system එක ආවේ mobile device වලට. right? okay. Then let's move into the application software, right? Under the application software, these are designed to satisfy a particular need of a particular environment, right? තේරුණානේ? application software එකක් අපි develop කරන්නේ අපේ environment එකේ මොන හරි අපේට අදාළ specific problem එකක් solve කරගන්න develop කරපු ඕනම දෙයක් අපි කියනවා application software එකක් කියලා. right? okay, give me a second to connect my laptop to the power cord, right? We discuss about the application software. So application software we designed to perform a particular task, right? අපිට specific වෙච්ච task එකක් perform කරගන්න තමයි අපි application software develop කරන්නේ, right? If it is a gaming purpose, we are developing several games for that purpose, right? We are developing the document purpose. We are developing several software to do that task, right? And if it is editing, video editing, or the graphic editing, we are developing several softwares or the several designing softwares to perform that task. So these application software, every time we are developing to perform a specific task, right? Okay. All software applications prepared in the computer lab can come under the category of application software and consist of a single program such as Microsoft's Notepad for writing and editing a simple text, right? අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේ application software එක purpose එකක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. If it's considered Microsoft Word, we are using that for document purposes. If it is a Microsoft Excel, we are using for calculation purposes, right? And if it's Access, we are using for creating databases, right? Likewise, we are developing application software to perform a specific task. And it may also consist of a collection of programs, often called a software package, which work together to accomplish a task like a spreadsheet package, right? අපිට එක task එකක් perform කරගන්න task ගොඩක එකතුවක් විදිහට application softwares use කරන්න පුළුවන්, right? Let's move into the understanding examples of the application software. Productivity softwares, right? Those software that aids in work-related activities like word processing, spreadsheets, and the databases, as we discussed earlier, right? And we can get other application software under the multimedia software, right? Like for the purpose of video editing, audio editing, and the image editing, right? Likewise, we are using several application software under the multimedia software. As well as we can use several education softwares as the application software. Zoom also kind of application software, right? The purpose is to perform to do several conferencing purposes. At that point, we are using for educational purpose as well, right? So students learn and teachers teach, and such as educational games, online classroom management systems, right? Are you using a management system, learning management system? Yes or no?
LMS?
Yes, very good. LMS is come under the educational software, right? And it's kind of a application software, right? You are using that short name as LMS, right? The long name is Learning Management System. It's also kind of a application software, LMS. Some institutes, it's using VLE, Virtual Learning Environment. There is no any difference in between these two, LMS and VLE. Both are using for the same purposes, educational purposes, right? Clear? Right. Okay, let's move into the features of the application software. They are close to the user and easy to design, right? And more interactive, right? Easy to design කෙනකින් අදහස් කරන්නේ මොකද්ද? Easy to design means, right? Anyone who expert in developing or the use of the programming language, right? He or she can develop any application using that programming language, right? That's why it's called as easy to design, right? If you are expert in Python, right? Using Python, you can develop a software to perform a specific task, right? More interactive and slow in speed, right? And generally written in high-level language, right? අපිට තමා ගොඩක් වෙලාට තේරෙන භාෂාවෙන් තමා අපි application software එකක් ලියන්නේ. And easy to understand, තේරුම් ගන්න ලේසි, and easy to manipulate and use, right? ඔයාලට ඒක හොඳටම පැහැදිලි. අපිට ඕනම තියෙන භාවිතා කරන application software එකක් අපිට හරි ලේසියෙන් භාවිතා කරන්න පුළුවන් විදිහට තමයි develop කරලා තියෙන්නේ. And bigger in size and requires large storage space. Right? It's depend, right? අපිට install කරන්න ඕනි space එක app එක අනුව වෙනස් වෙනවා. Type එක අනුව. Right? හැම එකම large in size නෑ. But based on the type of the software, right, we need to arrange large storage space, right? Okay, these are the features regarding the application software. Let's move into the next one, right? Okay. I will give you a small right. Can you see my screen, my desktop? Yes, ne? පේනවනේ දැන් Yes. Right, okay. Right. Here, this is called as desktop. Right. මේ තමයි machine එකක් open කරපුවාම අපිට පේන්න තියෙන මුල්ම window එක. Right. We understand about and we understood about the operating system. Operating system එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා තේරුම් ගත්තා. Right. Once we press the power button, after doing several tasks, right, we can get open this window. Right. This window we called as desktop. Right. අපිට power button එක press කරලා machine එක on වෙච්ච ගමන් අපිට පේන්න තියෙන මේ window එක. We called it as desktop, right? Desktop is the point that provided by the operating system, right? මෙන්න මේ interface එක අපිට දෙන්නේ operating system එකේ. We can change the background image as we wish. අපි කැමති විදිහට මේක change කරන්න පුළුවන්. And it's providing several icons. You can see with several fonts, right? Clear fonts, right? Using several images or the icons, right? These icons and the letters are provided by the operating system. And also, we can open these files, right? අපිට මේ files open කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? මේ file ඇතුළට ආපහු අපිට යන්න පුළුවන්. මෙන්න මේ විදිහට අපිට මේ ලස්සන arrangement එක අපිට organize කරලා දෙන්නේ. Right, arrange කරලා දෙන්න operating system එක. Right, without operating system, we cannot get this kind of interface to interact with the user. Right, okay. Then I will show you some short keys. Right, this is an application software provided by the operating system. Right, have you know what is the operating system that you have? කොහොමද අපි බලාගන්නේ අපිට තියෙන operating system එක මොකක්ද කියලා? Simply you can move into this PC. In my machine, I am having Windows 11, right? So simply you can go to the properties, right? Short key is Alt Enter, right? Once you select the file, folder or icon, then you can press Alt Enter, right? Simply you can move into the properties, right? Here, this is my system or my machine's properties, right? I am having Windows 11. This is my operating system. Likewise, you can see the information, so the details about your machine once you move into the my computer, right? If it is the Windows 10 or Windows 8, you are having the computer or this PC, right? Then simply click on that. Right click on that and then go to the properties, or simply you can use the short key Alt Enter, right? Before that, you need to select that specific icon, right? So then you can find what is the operating system and what is your device name and what is the processor type, right? What is my processor? මොකක්ද මගේ processor එක? කොහොමද හොයාගන්නේ processor එකේ type එක? කාටද experience එක තියනවද? ගොඩක් වෙලාවට sticker එක බලලානේ identify කරගන්නේ මොකක්ද තියෙන්නේ කියලා. Right? ඒ තමයි brand name එක. Brand name is Intel. My processor brand name is Intel. What is the generation? Yes,
i5.
i5. මෙන්න මෙතන තියෙනවා. i5 කියලා තමයි තියෙන්නේ Core i5 This is the processor type, right? And processor, it's speed measuring by gigahertz. Processor එක අපි capacity එක නෙමෙයි මනින්නේ. right? ඒ කියන්නේ අපි CPU එක තමයි මෙතන මේ processor කියලා අදහස් කරන්නේ. එයාගේ speed එක sorry capacity එකක් එයාට නැහැ. We measure the speed of the processor. Based on the processor speed, we can understand about the performance of the computer. Right? Computer ke performance අපිට හොයාගන්න පුළුවන් processor එකේ speed එකේ. Right? My processor having 2.40 gigahertz speed. Right? And RAM. Already installed RAM is 8 GB. Right? Likewise, you can understand the information about your machine once you move into this PC and then go to the properties. Right? This is the Windows icon. That means my machine having Windows operating system. Right? Okay. මෙන්න මේ operating system එක තමයි ඔයාලට ලස්සන interface එකක් මේ විදිහේ information right මේ විදිහේ display එක මාරු කරන්න right මෙන්න මේ කියන ලක්ෂණ දැන් ඔයාලට sounds notification මේ හැම option එකක්ම දීලා තියෙන්නේ operating system එකේ right okay right then here, in the desktop, you can see several images. Right? Folders icons are provided by the operating system. File icons are provided by the operating system. It depends on the type of operating system. You can see different file icons and the folder icons based on the operating system. Right? If it is a Mac type 1 or the Mac OS, it will very different from the Windows operating system. Right? And then these are what are the application software that you can understand using this desktop view. මේ desktop view එකට අනුව ඔයාලට පේන්න තියෙන application softwares මොනවාද? Can anyone list down them?
We have Photoshop,
But Adobe Photoshop, yes, then
Microsoft Edge,
Microsoft Edge,
Firefox,
yes, Firefox,
Google Chrome,
Google Chrome,
Microsoft Teams,
Microsoft Teams, very good. Is that so?
VLC Media Player,
Yes, VLC Media Player,
PowerPoint,
PowerPoint,
Word,
Word,
Excel,
Excel, that's all.
that's all.
That's all. But there is another software called PDF Exchange to open the PDFs, right? These are the application software that you can identify from this desktop background, right? So these are the files, not the application softwares, right? Application software එකක් use කරලා create කරපු files තමයි මේ පේන්න තියෙන්නේ, right? And these are folders. මේ folder icon එක. Right? These icons and the files icons are provided by the operating system, right? And these are the application softwares. We call them as Yadu Mudukanga in Sinhala, right? මේ application software, right? ඔන්න ඔය විදිහට තමයි desktop එකක මේ කියන application software සහ operating system වැඩ කරන්නේ. කවුද මේ දෙන්නගෙන් මුලින්ම install කරන්න ඕන එක්කෙනා? Is it A or B? What is the answer? But the first type of software that we should install once you buy a new computer?
Operating
OS.
system.
OS, yes, very good. Operating system. This is the first one that you should install, right? I think now you understand what I'm saying, right? Okay. Then after that, you can install several application software, right?
Yes.
Okay. Right. There's another question. How to identify the generation? It means what, Puta? ඔයාලගේ මැෂින් එකේ ජෙන් එකද නැත්නම් ප්‍රොසෙසර් එක කොහොමද කියලාද හොයාගන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා දාන්නේ ප්‍රොසෙසර් එකේ ජෙනරේෂන් එක ප්‍රොසෙසර් එකේ gen එක තමයි ඔයාලට මෙන්න මෙතනින් බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. මම ඉස්සෙල්ලා ගියේ desktop එකට. sorry. this PC එකේ properties ගියපුවාම you can find right. මෙන්න මෙතන තියෙනවා generation එක. my processor is 11 gen. right. 11 gen එකක් තමයි මෙතන තියෙන්නේ. right. මෙතනින් හරි ලේසියෙන් හොයාගන්න පුළුවන්. මේ Intel කියලා කියන්නේ brand එක. ඊට අමතරව තව තියෙනවා AMD තියෙනවා. right. Core i5ද i3ද i3 i5 machine එකක් normally dual core වෙන්න පුළුවන්. right. i7 එක quad core machine එකක්. right. මොකද i3 එක ගොඩක් දුරට නිෂ්පාදනය කරලා තියෙන්නේ අපේ normal purpose වලට. කියන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය වැඩවලට office package එකේ වැඩ ටික කරගන්න, right. searching option එකට Google Chrome වලට මේ වගේ පොඩි වැඩ කීපයක් perform කරන්න තමයි i3 ඒගොල්ලෝ develop කරලා තියෙන්නේ. මිලියන් අඩුයි, right. but i5 වෙනකොට ඊට වඩා චුට්ටක් advance 8GB RAM එකක් එනවා, right. processor එකේ speed එක වැඩි, right. ඔයාලට Adobe Flash වගේ දෙයක් use කරන්න පුළුවන්, right. game development, video editing මේ වගේ වට high performance machine එකක් විදිහට i7 ඒගොල්ලෝ develop කරලා තියෙනවා. right. Core i5 නම් Intel නම් right click කරලා බලන්න පුතේ gen එක. මොකද ඒගොල්ලෝ release කරන විදිහට තමයි gen එක ඔයාලට බලන්න වෙන්නේ. right. this PC ගිහිල්ලා check කරලා බලන්න gen එක මොකක්ද කියලා. right. okay. I think you learn more things regarding application software as well as the operating software. right. so I want to show a small video regarding this too. Right, can you see my screen? Yes or no?
Yes, madam.
Right, Harry. Okay. This video will show more about the application software and what are the types of application software and the operating systems. Right, oh, that means system software.
Of software. Computer software is a set of instruction that guides the computer hardware and tell the hardware what to do, when to do, and how to do a task. Software gives life to the computer. Without software, the computer is a dead machine. Computer software is divided into application software and system software. Application software. Application software are programs that help the user perform specific tasks. Word processing software like MS Word, WordPad, and Notepad are used to create documents such as letters, reports, etc. Database software like Oracle, MS Access are to store data and perform some operations on the data. Spreadsheet software like Microsoft Excel are used to organize data in rows and columns, perform calculations, and present data in charts and graphs. Presentation software like Microsoft PowerPoint is used to display information in the form of slides. Internet browsers like Google Chrome, Firefox, and Safari are used to access the internet. System software. System software is a set of program that controls the computer hardware. The system software is the platform for running the application software. System software are operating system and utility software. Operating system. Operating system is a software that acts as an interface between the user and the computer system. Operating systems for desktop and laptop computer are Microsoft Windows, Linux, Mac OS. Microsoft Windows is a very popular operating system created by Microsoft. The founder of Microsoft is Bill Gates. There are different versions of Microsoft Windows. Mac OS is an operating system created by Apple. The founder of Apple is Steve Jobs, and Steve Wozniak. Mac OS can run on all Macintosh computers. Linux is a free operating system that can be downloaded from the internet. It was developed by Linus Torvalds. Operating systems for mobile devices are Android and Apple iOS. Android is the most common mobile operating system used for mobile phone and tablets. iOS is used on iPhone and iPad. Utility software. Utility software is a software used to analyze, configure, optimize and maintain the computer. Example of utility software are antivirus software, backup software, disk compression tool, file manager. Backup.
Right. Here you can see antivirus software, right? It's come under the system software, right? So what are the other antivirus software that you are using? මොනවද ඔයගොල්ලෝ use කරන antivirus software? ඔයාලට පේනද disk compression tools. අපි disk එක divide කරන්න. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි මුලින්ම ගත්තාම hard disk එක පළවෙනි machine එක අලුත්ම machine එකක hard එක partition කරන්න ඕනේ. මේවටත් අපිට softwares use කරන්න වෙනවා. මේ softwares කියන්නේ application software නෙමෙයි, system software වලට. Right? And we have to use some backup software. And file manager. File manager means අපිට operating system එකෙන් දෙන ලස්සන icon එකක් file එකකට. නැත්නම් folder එකකට. මේගොල්ලන්ට අපි කියනවා file explorer එහෙම නැත්නම් file manager කියලා. Right? එන්නට antivirus, backup software, file managers as well as the disk compression tools, we get those things under the system software. Right? What are the other antivirus software that you are using? McAfee is an example for this.
Avast.
Avast. Kaspersky. Avira. Right. Why you are using antivirus software? Then කොහොමද application software එකට යවදාන්න බෑ. Yes. What is the answer?
To protect our PC with
Yes.
from other risk.
Yes, we are using antivirus software to protect our machine from the malware. Right? Malware කියන ලස්සන නම තිබ්බට ඒගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ හොඳ වැඩ නෙමෙයි. Right? What are the types of virus or the malware? What are the types of malware that you know? What are the types of malware? You know what are the antivirus software. You know what's the purpose that you're going to use. Then, what are the threats under the malware? Malware යටතේ එන මොනවද ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්න types? Viruses, worms. Yes. Other than that, spyware. Right.
Spyware.
Okay.
Worms. Fileless.
Okay. Adware, right? Do you know about the phishing attacks? No. Yes, ne? ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවනේ තව virus, worms, spyware, right? Adware, right? ඊට අමතරව තව තියෙනවා phishing attacks, right? ඊළඟට තව මොනවද? cyber attacks කියන්නේ එකදී එන්නේ hacking cyber attacks කියලා කියන්නේ. right? මේ හැම එකක්ම antivirus guard එහෙම නැත්නම් antivirus එකක් දාලා තමයි අපිට මෙන්න මේ McAfee ඊළඟට Avast, ESET වගේ වයින් තමයි අපිට spyware, viruses, worms වගේ අපිට protect වෙන්න පුළුවන් අපේ machine එක. right? worms වගේ දේවල් spread වෙන්නේ network එකක් through. right? worms කියන එකේ සරල අදහස පණුව කියන එකට තියෙන නමනේ worms කියන්නේ. ඒතර පණුවෙක් අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ගහක් කියන එකේ අතු එකිනෙකට connect වෙලා තියෙන්නේ හැම එකක්ම. මේක කොලයකට આવොත් මුළු ගහම විනාශ කරනවා. අන්න ඒ වගේ worms කියන්නේ it's kind of spread within the network. network එකක් ඇතුලේ තමයි worms ලා spread වෙන්නේ. එක machine එකක හිටියොත් ඇති අපි network එකක් හරහා network එකට connect වෙච්ච ගමන් ඒ අදාළ network එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන හැම machine එකකටම spread වෙනවා worms ලා. right? spyware means right ඔත්තු බලනවා කියන අදහස. right? එතකොට spyware එකෙන් කරන්නේ අපිට හානියක් නැහැ. spyware not going to harm ourselves but it's going to collect information from our side. right? most of the softwares are using spyware, right? for searching purposes, right? ඒගොල්ලෝ බලන අපි මොනවද වැඩිපුර search කරන්නේ, right? අපිට මොනවද වැඩිපුර ඕන කරන්නේ, right? අන්න ඒ විදිහට අපි search කරන words මොනවද? මේ හැම එකක්ම ඒගොල්ලෝ catch කරගන්නවා, right? they are using for their development purposes, right? spyware අපිට එවෙලේ හානි කරන්නේ නැහැ, but they are searching us, right? or screening us. okay, right? these are the kind of antivirus types that you should protect, and also you should aware about those things, right? okay, now you know antivirus software and all the backup softwares as well as the file managers and disk compression tools are come under the system software, right? okay, let's see what are the other things.
Backup software, disk compression tool, file manager. Now, let's see the summary of what we have learned. Computer software is a set of instruction that guides the computer hardware. Computer software is divided into application software and system software. Application software are programs that help the user perform specific tasks. System software is a set of program that controls the computer hardware. System software provides the platform for running the application software. System software are divided into operating system software and utility software. Question time. Drop the following in the correct circle. You have 50.
Right. Can you give me the answers for following questions? For what are the application software and the system software that you can identify from the left side? මේ වම් පැත්තෙන් ඔයාලට දැක් ගන්න පුළුවන් application softwares මොනවාද? Excel, PowerPoint, Google Chrome, Word,
Java. That's all.
right? That's it, ne? right? okay, what are the other system softwares?
Linux.
අනිත් ඔක්කොම, right? අපි දැන් දන්නවා අනිත් ඔක්කොම තමයි system software කියලා. Then what are the utility softwares and the operating systems under the system software? What are the operating system that you can identify?
Windows, Linux,
yes, and Android. This mark is Android, right? And others, McAfee is kind of antivirus, and this is file manager, right? These two are utility softwares, right? okay, then let's move into the next one.
15 seconds to complete.
right? which operating system is used for mobile devices?
Android.
answer එක දුන්නා Android සහ iOS. name some operating system used for desktop and laptop. ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්න operating systems මොනවද?
Windows.
yes,
macOS,
macOS, Ubuntu,
Linux,
Linux, yes, Red Hat,
iOS,
Linux,
Apple.
Android we can't get. It's asking about desktop and laptop.
Oh, sorry.
Right, okay. You can see the answers. The next one, what are the type of software directly interact with the user? මොනවද අපි ඒවට කියන්නේ? user එක්ක වැඩ කරන software.
application software.
Application softwares. Hardware එක්ක වැඩ කරන්නේ කවුද? What are software with interact with the hardware?
Drive software.
System software. System software තමයි වැඩ කරන්නේ. Type of software. Under the utility software you can.
System software.
Yes. What type of software is operating system software? Yeah. Kind of a system software. Yes. Google Chrome is kind of a application software. File manager and the backup
Utility.
software are utility
Utility
software. Yes, okay. Thank you very much for your support, right? I think you learn more about the application and system softwares, right? So let's move into the session again. Right. I want to teach you regarding some short keys, right? I think it's better to learn about those short keys tomorrow, right? Tomorrow class, I will explain about some short keys, right? So then let's move into the next one. Okay. Okay. Did you get any idea regarding application and operating system or system softwares? Did you learn something? Yes, Nay? Can we move into the operating system part? Now we move into the learn more about operating system under the system software, right? Before that, we learn about the basic things regarding the software and how we can divide software into two parts and what are the examples under the system software and the application software, right? And how they are work, right? Those things we learn up to this point. Now we are going to move into the learn about deep thing about operating system, right? Are you ready, guys? Yes, Nether. Right? Nidhi Nani, cutting on. Right. කෙනෙක් ඉන්නා අනිත් අය හැමෝම ඉන්නවනේ නේද? ඉන්දියන් එපා තව ටික වෙලාවයිනේ තියෙන්නේ. Yes. All right, okay. Tilina, can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Tilina ගොඩක් ඉන්නවද? I'm talking to Tilina Desha.
Yes, madam.
All right. Okay. නිදි නෑනේ? පාඩම අහගෙන ඉන්නේ? right, හරි. Okay. දැන් ලීව් වෙන්න එපා මම හැමෝටම කතා කරන්නේ නැහැ. right මම නිකන් just test කරලා බැලුවේ ඉන්නවද කියලා. right. මොකද නැත්තම් වැඩක් නැහැ ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඩිප්ලෝමා එකක් කරන්නේ. නේ? ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ කාලේ right ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ මහන්සිය right කැප කරලා අවිල්ලා මේ ස්ක්‍රීන් එකක් දිහා බලාගෙන නිකන් ඉන්න එපා. right. ඒක time waste වෙනවා. සහ ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ money waste මේ දෙකම වෙනවා. right. ඔයගොල්ලෝ government university එක right diploma එකක් ඔයගොල්ලෝ හදාරන්න. එතකොට ඒකට වටිනාකම දෙන්න. right. දන්න දේවල් ඇති. right. නොදන්න දේවලුත් තියෙයි. මේ ටික හරියට ඉගෙනගෙන හරියට මේක complete කරගන්න. ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ time එකේ. right. හරි. ඒකයි මම චුට්ටක් කතා කරන්නේ මේ boring නැති මේ මොනවද? ප්‍රශ්න හදි එපා වෙනවා ඇති. හැබැයි ඊට වඩා boring වෙනවා. එක දිගට කතා කරගෙන ගියොත්. එහෙම නේද? right. මොකද screen එක අපි screen එකක් දිහා බලාගෙන ඉන්නේ. මට ඔයගොල්ලෝ පේන්නේත් නැහැ. හැබැයි ඔයාලට නම් මාව පේනවා. ඒ chance එක තියෙනවා. right. හැබැයි මේ වගේ online platform එකක කතා කරද්දී හරි අමාරුයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ manage කරගෙන යන්න ඕනේ. නැත්තම් මං කියවනවා ඔයගොල්ලෝ එහෙ අහන් ඉන්න හිමුනොත් හරි අමාරුයි. right? Okay. So I think, yes, ekane. Right. Maybe the other neither. Is this very good? Yes, ne? Right. Right. Okay. Let's move to learn about more regarding operating system, right? Here we're going to discuss about what is operating system and what are the types of operating system and what are the things that we can do use of the operating system, right? And what are the features of operating system, right? Each and everything here we're going to discuss under the operating system and what are the things or the can operate by the operating system, right? First, I'm asking about what is an operating system, right? I think now you have unclear idea regarding operating softwares. Ne? Right. Can you share your ideas or the answers in the comment sheet regarding what is an operating software? Operating system එකක් එමත operating software එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියන ප්‍රශ්නෙට answer එක ඔයාලට පුළුවන් ද chat එකට දාන්න. මම හිතනවා දැන් පුළුවන්. Since you know or you learned, right? What is an operating system? Right. Someone give me the answers. It's a platform for application software. Yes, it's correct. Others? Systems that provide virtual machines. Okay. Others? No one. No one giving a complete answer. Why? Right, okay. Let's see what is the complete answer for the operating system. පොඩ්ඩ දෙනවා ඔයගොල්ලෝ චූටි චූටි කෑලි කෑලි දෙනවා. Full answer එක ගන්න නම් යාළුවෝ කීප දෙනෙක්ගේ උත්තරයකට combine කරන්න ඕනේ. Yes, the program that after being initially loaded into the computer by a boot program. Okay, let's see what is operating system. Right, simply, it is an interface in between a computer user and the computer hardware. I repeat these things again and again at the previous session. Yes, ne? Right, operating system means it's a kind of interface, right? It's going to combine the interaction in between user and the hardware. Without operating system, we can't work with the computer, right? Since it's only having the hardware, right? Hardware can't do anything, right? But if we want to use application software with the support of hardware, for that purpose, there should be operating system. So simply, OS means an interface which is going to operate or create an interface in between user and the hard drives, right? So it is a software which perform all the basic tasks like file management, memory management, process management, handling input and output, and the controlling peripheral devices, and the disk drives, printers, right? Those things it's going to do inside the computer system, right? Operating software එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා අහපුවාම හරිම සරල උත්තරය. ඔයගොල්ලෝ චූටි චූටි parts තමයි answer එක විදියට දෙන්නේ. The simple answer is it is an interface, right? Which going to provide or which going to interact or which going to combine user and the hard drives, right? Computer system or the operating system is the interface, right? An interface between the computer user and the computer hardware. මෙන්න මේ answer එක ඔළුවට එන්න ඕනි ආයේ කොහෙදි හරි operating system එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා අහුවොත්, right? Okay, let's move into the next slide. Examples of operating system. In the previous slide, we understand about simple the operating systems, right? But here I have add more examples for regarding the operating system. Windows, Linux, right? WinRiver, right? Linux OS, likewise Android, Windows XP, Sun Microsystem, Mac 7, Windows 7, right? Likewise, there are so many types of operating system, right? So, have you ever heard about open source softwares? Free and open source. Have you heard? Free and open source. Yes, ne? Right. Free and open source mean what? Eke මොකක්ද අදහස් කරන්නේ? Free and open source කියන එකෙන් අදහස් කරන්නේ මොකක්ද? Free and open source means, right? Simply, easily those softwares, these kind of free and open source softwares are available on the online or the internet. Simply, we can search them and download them and install them inside the machine, right? As well as some softwares are providing or enabling their backend development, right? That means ඒගොල්ලෝගේ code එක අපිට available කරනවා for editing purposes. Right? If someone need, they can edit that entire code and use for another purpose. That is called as free and open source, right? Yes, no need to buy. You don't need to pay for those kind of softwares, right? Then Windows, is it a free and open source? Windows.
No.
No. Then how you are using it? Are you paying? No. And we are using track versions, right? Windows is a payable software, right? Not the free and open source software. So Linux is free and open source software, right? We can get the source code as well as we can simply install, right? අපි crack version එකක් තමයි use කරන්නේ Windows වල, right? Not the original one, right? Yes, Linux is free operating system, right? Okay, then let's move into understand about several types of operating systems. Yes, but some softwares are having premium versions as well, right? So, okay. So, here I have mentioned some of the types of operating systems. First one is single user, single tasking operating system, right? ඔගොල්ලෝ හිතන්න නැද්ද මේ විදිහේ operating system types තියෙනවා කියලා? right? දන්න අය ඇති. right? First type එක තමයි single user, single tasking. That means එක user කෙනෙක්ටයි පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන් එක කාර්යයක් කරගන්න. right? Single user. There is only one user, right? That using the machine and also doing one task, right? At one time, it can perform only one task. That's why it's called as single task, right? And what time that system can use only one person by one person, right? Designed to handle only one task at a time, right? The examples is MS-DOS, Microsoft Disk Operating System, right? It's a oldest one, right? Which is designed to use by single user to perform a single task, right? Okay, then let's move into the single user multitasking. Is it your operating system? Is a single user multitasking or multi-user? Your operating system from these three types, which one? Your machine. Is it a single user single tasking or single user multitasking or multi-user? Okay, before that I will teach these three, right? Okay, single user means one user, system is going to use by one person but it can perform several tasks at once or simultaneously. Allow a user to run multiple applications simultaneously. That means one user, the system is using by one person, but he or she can do several tasks at once. That means if he or she need to do office work, that means he or she can open Microsoft Word. At the same time, he can listen to the music playing VLC Media Player or Windows Player. Right? ඔන්න ඔය විදිහට තමයි single user multitasking කියලා කියන්නේ. Yes, you are using single user multitasking operating system. Windows and the Mac OS are developed for single user multitasking purposes. Right? Background works. Yes. ඔගොල්ලෝ එක main purpose එකක වැඩ කරන ගමන් ඔයාලට පුළුවන් සින්දුවක් අහන්න play කරලා දාන්න. Right? එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔයාලට ඒ අතරේ පුළුවන් PPT එකක් edit කරන්න. ඒ වගේම Microsoft Word document එකක් edit කරන්න, email එකක් යවන්න, search කරන්න. මේ හැම දෙයක්ම කරන්න පුළුවන් එකම වෙලාවක. හැබැයි use කරන්න පුළුවන් එක user කෙනෙක්ට විතරයි. This kind of operating systems we called as single user multitasking. Right? Then another type is multi-user. Right? It supports multiple users simultaneously, each with their own accounts and privileges. Right? Multi-user operating systems are going to support multiple users simultaneously, each with their own accounts and privileges. Most of the time, software companies using this operating system, since they need to work on one machine, several purposes for multiple users, right? So that times they are going to open several accounts with the privileges, but at the end of the task, they are working on the same machine, right? So these kind of purposes we can use Linux, Ubuntu, CentOS and the Unix kind of operating system for the purpose of multi-user. Right? Multi-user purpose එකකට users ලා ගොඩක් එකතු කරගෙන මොන හරි වැඩක් කරන්න තියෙන ලාවට අපිට පුළුවන් මේ operating system type එකක් use කරන්න. Multi-user operating system. Right? Okay. Right? Other three. There are so many types of operating systems, right? But here I have mentioned only 9, right? Once you search about the type of operating system, you can find several operating system types for several purposes. The other one is real-time operating system. Simply we call them as RTOS, right? Those are designed for systems that require real-time processing of data. It guarantees that a specific task will be completed within a certain time. Right? Do you know about real-time operating system? වැඩ කරන මොන හරි device එකක් ගැන දන්නවද? Real-time operating system එකක් වැඩ කරන. Can you think about this kind of system which are using real-time operating system? No. අදහසක් නැද්ද? ATM machines, they are using real-time operating system. Most of the embedded system, right? There are some operating systems designed for several specific purposes, but kind of ATM machines, right? And the kind of systems they are using, and the CAD, right? These machines, they are using under the types of operating system, real-time operating system. Right? අපි ඒ වෙලාවේ වැඩ කරන්න ඕන විදිහට වැඩ මැෂින් එක හැදෙනවා. අදාළ යූසර්ට අනුව ඒ operating system එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. එතන අපිට files create කරන්න, folders හදන්න, office access කරන්න ATM machine එකේ support කරන්නේ නැහැනේ. But it support to do withdrawals, right? As well as deposit, right? Paying SIPs, right? These kind of things we can perform and using ATM machine, right? So these kind of real-time operations are doing the support of real-time operating system. They are using specific operating system like QNX, FreeRTOS, likewise, right? අපි ඒ අදාළ වැඩේට අනුව අපිට operating system එක වෙනස් කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් අපි කිව්ව embedded devices කියලා type එකක් තියෙනවා. So when it comes to the embedded devices, they are using several or the separate operating system from these other types, right? අනිත් system වලින් වෙනස් වෙච්ච operating system එකක් තමයි embedded system වල වැඩ කරන්නේ. Right? If it is a network, right, you should have a server, right? To work with the server type operating system, there should be a specific operating system which is specifically designed for networking purposes. Right? These kind of operating systems we called as network operating system. Simply we called it as NOS. And they are going to manage and coordinate network resources, allowing computers to communicate and share resources. Right? If you're having a network, right? අපිට network එකක් තියෙනවානේ, if it is office network, it can be office network or the computer lab, right? These machines or these computers having server system, these servers are using server operating system like Windows providing or the Microsoft providing Windows Server, right? Novell, NetWare, likewise, several operating systems are there to the purpose of networking, right? Okay, then mobile operating system. These are designed for mobile devices like smartphones as well as the tablets, right? Android, iOS, මේ දේවල් ටික අපි කතා කරා. Right. ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. මම ඒකයි කිව්වේ there are so many operating system types. You can see once you search them on the internet, you can get a list of type operating system. Right? Embedded operating system. They used in embedded system often with specific tasks and limited hardware resources. Right? එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ ස්මාර්ට් වොච් එක කියන්නේ යාටක් තියෙන operating system එක. Right? එයාට specific වෙච්ච. washing machine එකට specific වෙච්ච operating system එකක් තියෙනවා. Right? If it is automated vehicle, it's also having an operating system. It's specific to that vehicle. Right? ඒ අදාළ වාහනයට අනුව වෙනස් වෙ හැදිච්ච operating system එකක් තියෙනවා. Right? Okay. Then mainframe operating systems designed for high performance, large scale computing. Right. Most of the time, mainframe computer or the mainframe operating systems are used in NASA, right? Banks, right? Head branch, likewise, or the security purposes, right? මෙන්න මේ විදිහට තමයි mainframe operating system. Mainframe machines ගැන අහලා තියෙනවනේ. Right? They are high performance machine, right? Those machines, they are using mainframe operating system, right? IBM, Unisys, like the other examples for mainframe operating system. And also, there are cloud operating systems as well. They specifically designed to manage cloud computing resources and services. Have you heard about cloud? Cloud ගැන අහලා තියෙනවද? Yes or no? නෝනම් වෙන්න විදිහක් නැහැනේ. Yes. Okay. Then what are the applications that you use with the support of cloud? Up to now. මේ වෙනකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ use කරලා තියෙන services මොනවද? Cloud services. අහලා තියෙනවා කියන්නේ cloud ගැන? අහලා තියෙනවා නම් මොනවද ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ වෙනකොට cloud ගැන cloud එක්ක cloud technology එකත් එක්ක use කරන services? Right. Drive එක use කරනවා කියලා දාලා තියෙනවා. Okay. අද is that so? Drive එක විතරද? iCloud එක use කරනවා. Okay. Operating system දෙනවා. Cloud service එක යටතේ. Google Cloud operating system එක. Right? With the support of cloud technology, you don't need to install these softwares inside your machine. You don't need, yes, virtual storage. It's kind of a virtual storage. You no need to separate, or you no need to allocate specific space to store something, right? You can store something in anywhere. That's the main idea about the cloud, right? Virtual, right? You no need to allocate physical space to store something, right? Simply, you can use or you can install them in the drive, right? As well as you can use several softwares, right? with the support of cloud technology without installing inside your machine. Right? ඔයාගේ machine එකේ install කරන්න නැතුව ඒ software එක use කරන්න පුළුවන්. When we discuss about the Google Cloud services, you can use Google Doc, right? Google Slides, right? And Google website developments, right? Those are the services under the Google Cloud service. What is the largest company which is going to provide large cloud service? Did you heard about AWS? AWS Microsoft cloud service එක දෙනවා AWS ඊළඟට Google, right? මේගොල්ලෝ තමයි විශාලම cloud service providers ලා විදිහට වැඩ කරන්නේ. Right? Have you seen about servers? Did you know about servers? Yes or no? Servers ගැන අහලා තියෙනවද? AWS කියලා කියන කෙටියෙන් Amazon. Amazon ලගේ කම්පැනි එක AWS. සර්ච් කරලා බලන්න. හරි. දැන් මතක් වුණානේ. Amazon ල තමයි ඊළඟට ලොකුම cloud service එක cloud platform එක දෙන්නේ. Right? Okay. Did you see about servers? Are you using Facebook? Yes or no? Yes, Nene? කමෙන්ට් එකයි ආවේ. Facebook පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ නැද්ද ඔයගොල්ලෝ? එක්කෙනෙක්ද පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ? Others? Yes නේ. Did you see server room of the Facebook? Facebook na use karna, but you didn't see the server room of the computer Facebook, right? Right. Here, this video will show the inside of the Facebook data center, right? ඔයාලගේ account එකක් තියෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ data center එක ඇතුලේ තමයි.
For ensuring all of the infrastructure on time so that we deliver a great experience to users around the globe.
Challenges today, and that our growth at times is exceeding worldwide capacity.
But impossible is nothing here. And that's actually the part I love, because we do get to manage the impossible.
The sourcing team has to be involved in supporting the entire process for sourcing a data center location. All of the mechanical and electrical infrastructure, all of the commercial electronics, all of the connectivity connecting that DC to the planet. If you took one Facebook data center and laid it on its side, it would be taller than the Empire State Building. That's bigger than 4 soccer fields.
We enable the delivery of Facebook products by just getting the compute and storage technology and equipment to the data centers when it's needed, on time. Basically, we get to touch all facets of the business.
All of these elements working together from one cohesive team build the backbone that runs Facebook.
When I first got here, everything is about disruptive ideas. How quickly can we implement those disruptive ideas? That was very refreshing.
We don't do cookie cutter designs here. We get to explore new ways of designing products that would not be available to the commercial industry. And that to me is extremely exciting.
We're not plugged into a role. Every day's new. Every day's fun.
We get to work with industry leading engineers that are designing the products. And every day I come into work, I learn something new.
Triage, collaborate, ability to move fast and deliver. That's the fun part.
The speed of change and innovation and the investment for growth provides tremendous opportunities both on a personal and a professional level.
The biggest thing that resonates about Facebook for me is the people.
You will not find people that are more open and honest And I think the work I do, as well as the people I work with, is why I stay.
To me, being open is really valuing a diverse culture. So as my daughter is coming into the workforce, I want to have a positive impact on their lives. That's what.
Right. That is inside of the Facebook data center. Right. ඔන්න ඔය විදිහට තමයි Facebook ලගේ server එක increase වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. right. ඔය වගේ පොඩි unit එකක් ඇතුලේ තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ account එක තියෙන්නේ. ඔයගොල්ලෝ share කරන ඒවා, right, store කරලා තියෙන ඒවා. මේ හැම දෙයක්ම කබඩා වෙලා තියෙන මේ වගේ පොඩි unit එකක් ඇතුලේ. right. Please don't create fake accounts. right. It's wasting the space of the Mark Zuckerberg. Right. So, okay. Then these are the things that I have planned to discuss about for today. Tomorrow, we can discuss more about the operating system, right? Regarding its functions, right? That regarding the file management and the other things, right? So, did you get something today? Yes or no?
Yes, madam.
Yes, ne? Right. Do you have any doubts or any questions regarding this?
No, madam.
No. Right, okay. If no, we can wind up the session from here, right? Then, thank you everyone. So, let's meet in tomorrow to discuss about the operating system, more about the operating system, right? And other things, right? Okay. Then, thank you very much for joining the lesson and also your active participation, right? Okay, then let's wind up the session. Right? Good night, everyone.
Thanks and goodbye.